Boom. What's up, you guys? It's Jacob, and welcome back to another members exclusive video. In this one, we're going to be talking about Mr. Larry Fink and why he thinks Bitcoin could potentially go to $700,000, which is an insane claim, but this article will hopefully shed some light on why he believes this could be the case. Okay, so let's get to reading. This is a decently long article, so sit back, grab some coffee, grab a beer, and enjoy. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink forecasts $700,000 Bitcoin price amid inflation worries. Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, has suggested that Bitcoin could reach $700,000 per coin, citing its growing role as a hedge against economic instability, very different things. His projection, sparked by a discussion with Sovereign Wealth Fund, highlights the increasing momentum of the institutional adoption and its potential to reshape market dynamics. Okay, so actually let's give this author credit. Where is the author of this article? Very bottom. By Mark Mason. Okay, Mark Mason from Bitcoin Magazine. There we go. Always got to give credit where credit's due, especially if I'm just reading over an article. Okay, so let's actually zoom in here because this text is pretty small. There we go. That should be good. Okay, so Larry Fink, I kind of just read all over that entire thing, so I'm just going to go here. The fund sought advice on whether to allocate 2% or 5% of its investment portfolio into Bitcoin. According to Fink, if institutional adoption continues to grow and similar allocation strategies are embraced broadly, market dynamics could drive Bitcoin to such remarkable heights. Fink made the striking statement during a recent interview, explaining that Bitcoin's potential for exponential growth is closely tied to fears of economic downturns and fiat currency devaluation. Fink described Bitcoin as an international instrument capable of mitigating localized economic fears. So, I'm not sure. I actually haven't watched this, so okay, it's not too long. Let's listen to this. Okay, I'll turn it up. Watch this together.
Your currency, or you're frightened of your economic or political stability of your country. You can have an internationally based instrument called Bitcoin that will overcome those local fears. And so I'm a big believer in the utilization of that as an instrument. And so if that becomes true, and you see that it is it could be a proper hedge against maybe hope security or equities. Yeah. The question is, could you see a 2 or 5% allocation? I was with a sovereign wealth fund during this week, and that was the conversation. Should we have a 2% allocation? Should we have a 5% allocation? If everybody adopted that conversation, it would be.
All right, we kind of just read that. So 2% and 5%. When you're talking about a sovereign wealth fund, obviously the amount of capital that they can allocate and have to deploy is very dependent upon the nation state itself. I don't even want to. Saudi Arabia is probably going to have it's way more meaningful if it's Saudi Arabia talking to Larry Fink about this sovereign wealth fund as opposed to like Uruguay or something. Sorry Uruguay if you're Uruguayan, but that's just the first country that came to mind. But again, just this general trend of governments and nation states being interested at all in purchasing any Bitcoin with their sovereign wealth fund, which in my opinion is inevitable that this is going to happen. In the U.S., if you watch the Trump video I just posted or about the executive order he just signed, if the U.S. does it, there's already been some dominoes falling, like El Salvador and stuff, picking up Bitcoin with their, like El Salvador buying Bitcoin, which obviously great move in retrospect. Those are the first dominoes to fall, but those didn't do it. Like the U.S. is the domino, and if the U.S. domino falls, to stick with the analogy, then it's pretty much inevitable that everyone is going to follow. Okay, so good stuff here. Let's keep reading. A message to the market. With BlackRock managing $11.5 trillion in assets, I also said $7 trillion in the video I just recorded, just off the cuff, which is way off. So $11.5 trillion in assets is a number that's so almost fictional and ridiculous that it's borderline impossible to even wrap your head around that amount of capital. But that's just to show how much freaking ultimately power, capital is power, it speaks to Fink's power in that sense. Okay, so Fink's words carry significant weight, sending a clear message to retail and institutional investors alike. His endorsement transcends a personal opinion, serving as a market signal about Bitcoin's potential trajectory. Long heralded as digital gold, Bitcoin is seen as a store of value that can protect wealth from inflation and governmental fiscal mismanagement. Fink's recognition of this narrative could further accelerate its adoption among traditional investors. Fink's prediction comes as global economies grapple with soaring inflation, escalating national debts, and geopolitical tensions that threaten currency stability. Bitcoin, with its fixed supply of 21 million coins and decentralized structure, presents an alternative asset class that is immune to the inflationary pressures inherent in fiat currencies. In this climate, its value proposition becomes increasingly compelling. Sounds a lot like what we were saying like 2-3 years ago. I have a video, if you guys want to look it up. It's called, type in like Royce Jacob, Bitcoin Gold 2.0, where I say exactly that. Bitcoin is Gold 2.0. Bitcoin has all of the, but even better, characteristics that make gold valuable. It is provably scarce, unlike gold, which, I've heard Elon say, like an asteroid could hit Earth with tons of gold on it immediately, like lowering the value of gold. It's all supply and demand economics. The more supply you have, obviously, if the demand stays the same, if supply goes up, the price of the asset itself is going to go down. So I don't need to explain that to you guys because I know you understand that. But Bitcoin, again, there are only 21 million coins ever minted. There are probably realistically 18 million that are only going to exist because like 3 million, it's estimated around 3 million have been lost. So it's more like 18 million exist. And that's the way it'll always be. I always used to say a stat. And it's even more true now that not every if every millionaire on earth wanted to buy one Bitcoin, they couldn't. There's not enough. Okay, and that's probably way more true now. I haven't looked up that statistic in a while, but it's probably 30% more towards the what's cool about that statistic, if that makes sense. So again, Bitcoin, super compelling. Larry Fink, agree. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, a signal of institutional interest. BlackRock's deepening involvement in Bitcoin reached a milestone on January 21st, 25, when the firm purchased $662 million worth of Bitcoin for its ETF, their largest daily purchase so far this year. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, or IBIT, surpassed the firm's iShares Gold Trust, IAU, in net assets in October of 24. This milestone was achieved just months after IBIT's launch in January of 24, highlighting the rapid growth and increasing investor interest in Bitcoin-focused exchange-traded funds. A balanced perspective, while Fink's projection is undeniably bullish, it remains contingent on continuation of current economic trends. If global economic stability improves or innovative financial systems emerge to alleviate fears of currency debasement, Bitcoin's price trajectory may stabilize at a lower level. Nevertheless, Fink's high-profile commentary underscores its growing role as a legitimate asset class. Bitcoin's next chapter. Bitcoin's evolution from a digital experiment to a mainstream financial instrument is accelerating. Fink's remarks may signal a pivotal moment not just for Bitcoin, but for its broader acceptance in traditional finance. For investors and enthusiasts, this is more than a vote of confidence. It's a sign that the integration of Bitcoin into the global financial landscape is not only imminent, but already underway. As the world watches, Bitcoin's role in redefining finance continues to grow. Fink's prediction serves as a reminder that Bitcoin is no longer a fringe idea, but a crucial player in the future of money. Shout out Mark Mason. Shout out Bitcoin Magazine. I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know in the comments below what you makes sense to me. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Appreciate you watching, and hope you got some value from this. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.